Hey, what's good, fam? It's your man, Mark Black. Welcome to Sucka-Free Saturday. Y'all know what time it is. Today, we're going to do some work because it's been a while since we actually talked about a heavy-duty subject. And the subject's kind of apropos to what's been being discussed lately. So we're going to go ahead and get into it. But before we do, just a couple of things that I want to make sure to do. First of all, as always, I want to shout out to people that have popped themselves in the chat. Remember, fam, the rules. If you're here, let us know you're here so we can shout you out. You don't have to participate during the broadcast in the chat, but let me say hello to you and welcome you to the broadcast. So we got Brother Paul, Brother LaShawn, Brother Zulu's in the house, Sister Christine's in the house, and Miss Denny is in the house. Those are the people that are, popped up in the chat. Brother Ibrahim, salam to you, brother. Good to see you, and welcome to the broadcast. Before we get started, a couple of things I want to mention. First of all, as usual, there are links in the description field and also in the comments below to resources that I'm going to reference during the broadcast. Also, reports, studies, you name it, that is going to help you get up on your advocacy so you know why it is that we fight and why we do what we do. There's also links there should you choose to do so to support my work. I do have a Patreon available. I'm asking that you put $5 on it, but even if it's $1 a month, fam, it makes all the difference and it's definitely appreciated. Now, by the way, shout out to Sister Taj and shout out to my brother Black Man 903, fam. I see you and welcome to Sucka-Free Saturday. So there's a topic that I want to address before we get into the meat and potatoes of today's broadcast. In my last broadcast, I made quite a few comments, both good and some that were interpreted as bad by some folk, right? Some criticisms of the ADOS conference. And those criticisms were taken actually by the majority of you in the spirit in which I meant them. I made it clear all throughout the broadcast, fam, that I have nothing but esteem and respect for Yvette and for Tone, right? I appreciate and am eternally grateful to them for this, for giving birth to this new understanding that we've been able to embrace, right? However, to be clear, there were some who posted, some who did not, who made comments essentially accusing me of undermining the movement. So I wanted to address that briefly. First of all, fam, it's a little illogical to accuse Mark Black or really anyone of undermining ADOS. Because technically speaking, undermining ADOS is impossible. Now, why do I say that? Well, the answer is essentially simple. You can't undermine someone's lineage, right? I can't disparage where I come from. I am who I am. I am ADOS. I could no more undermine that than I could make the sun rise in the west and set in the east. I was born to Deborah Lynn, right? And Kenneth. I am the grandson of Mary Ann and Grover Arvester, right? And so on and so forth. Like, I can trace my lineage back to an enslaved ancestor on both sides of my family. I can't undermine that. I can't dismiss that. I can't somehow shunt that off to the side. My heritage and my lineage is me, literally. So to claim that somehow or another, through any sort of criticism, even if my criticism had been harsh, that I was actively working to undermine ADOS, it just doesn't make any sense. But on top of that, there is a particular issue with that whole idea that this thing can somehow or another be co-opted, undermined, and so on and so forth. What I believe these people were meaning wasn't that I was undermining ADOS. They believed that I was undermining the efforts of Yvette and Antonio. Now, they didn't come out and just say that. They didn't come out and say, you're sabotaging Yvette and Antonio. No, they tried to make it as if I was an agent of some sort, that I speak with a forked tongue, that on one hand, I talk like I support ADOS, which I do. I am ADOS, right? But then on the other hand, I'm on the sly trying to make sure that ADOS is not successful in its goals and aims. I'm not going to lie to you, fam. I'm fairly open to criticism. As you guys all well know, I ask you to critique me. So to those people who believe that I am in some way an agent of dissension or chaos, or is in some other way looking to sabotage the work of and the efforts of Yvette and Tone, I only have one thing essentially to say to you. Bring your evidence, right? You can call into my show or to my broadcast. I don't like calling it a show. It's not for entertainment, but you can call into my broadcast, right? The line is always open at the end of every broadcast. These individuals who felt as if I was being hypercritical or overcritical of Yvette and Antonio had and have every opportunity to address it with me directly, respectfully, with no rancor, no drama, no mess, just two brothers and sisters talking, right? So if you have evidence that at some point I've said something other than the consistent message that I stand for the remediation, the restoration, and the repair of the American descendants of slavery, then bring your evidence. Whether it's video evidence, whether you recorded me making a phone call to somebody who was like, fuck them niggas. I don't care what your evidence is. Bring it. But unless you have clear evidence that I have worked in some way, shape, or fashion to thwart our mutual goals, our mutual aims as tribes people, I would ask that you refrain from using terms like agent when you refer to me. I would ask that you refuse to use terms like saying what I'm saying is bullshit. Everybody's got an opinion, and that's fine. I don't have to agree with your opinion. You don't have to agree with mine. It's all gravy, fam. It is all gravy. But just like we all have an opinion, I'm not bound by your opinions, nor are you bound by mine, right? If at any point I give an opinion and that is not something that you adhere to, or you see a different path, walk your path. That's the best part about this advocacy. The advocacy itself is essentially simple, but there's a million different ways to get there. So all I wanted to say on that is fam, I stay consistent. I have consistently, since I've been broadcasting on this particular topic, spoke about the remediation, the restoration, and the repair of the American descendants of slavery, full stop. If you have evidence supporting something else other than that I've said, bring it. Otherwise, you don't like my opinions, there's other advocates, other proponents, other individuals to watch. That's as simple as that, right? If at any point Mark Black is not delivering to you what it is that you need to be up on your advocacy to feel that you're living your best ADOS life, feel free to watch someone else. But if you are going to watch me, I am not going to blow smoke up your ass. I'm not going to lie to you. I have no incentive to. Right? I could sit here and broadcast about video games and make millions if it was all about money. This ain't about money for me. I have no interest in this except to help my people to understand where it is that we come from and what a power we hold as the bearers of the most unique justice claim in all of the United States of America. That's it. So with that said, fam, let's get right into the subject. Oh, by the way, let me go through because I had a few people show up. Spook, I see you, fam. Welcome to the broadcast. Let's see here. Brother Chad, ADOS Reparation 2020. I see you, fam. Welcome to the broadcast. Little lady, welcome to the broadcast. So, fam, the topic of today's broadcast is actually appropriate given what it is that we were talking about previously, right? One of the critiques that was mentioned was the critique about voting down ballot, right? Now, Yvette spoke about why it is her and Tone embrace the idea of voting down ballot. And she mentioned a few specific things. Shalom, Sister August, welcome to the broadcast. Pretty Muslima. Shalom, sister, welcome to the broadcast. I see you. She mentioned a couple of specific things. So I'm going to mention those things, and then I'm going to address, in my opinion, what those things are, what they mean, and so on and so forth, right? So she mentioned first that we always have someone on the ballot that needs our support. Okay, that was her words. I'm paraphrasing, but that's essentially the gist of what our sister said. She said, don't neglect voting because there's always somebody on the ballot that needs your support. Okay, gotcha. All right. Now, the second thing that she said was that we have been the most loyal demographic of voters for Democrats. And thus, we should be voting to press them to get right, right? To either get right or get left, so to speak. Okay? And she essentially said that if we did not participate in the franchise come 2020, like if we stayed home, like some of my brothers who are foundational Black Americans are saying, no Black agenda, no vote, period. Nobody gets dog catcher, right? Nobody gets nothing unless they're coming and talking about tangibles. If we do that, we will ultimately be blamed by the Democrats. And thus, we should show up, but should write in ADOS rather than actually voting for somebody, okay? If y'all correct me, fam, if I got any of that wrong, please correct me, because I do not want to misrepresent our sister. So these are the three things that she mentioned. Now, that having been said, I respectfully would like this broadcast to address those things specifically. Only those things, right? In support of my assertion that voting down ballot is basically next to useless if we are looking to forward our endeavors politically as ADOS. Now, let me address the first point. The first point that she made was that we need to make sure to vote down ballot because there's always somebody on the ballot that needs our support. Okay? Now, let me ask you a basic question, fam. Just no shade here. Just this is basic shit. All right? Let's say that I needed something from you. What's the first thing that you're going to expect from me if I need something from you? Go ahead and type some responses in chat, fam. I'll wait because I want some answers to this question. If I, Mark Black, need something from you, what is the first thing that you're going to expect to see from me? Okay, Zulu Black says quid pro quo, reciprocity, right? I see where y'all going with y'all's logic. Okay, let me see some more answers here, right? What is it, the first thing that you're going to expect to see from me? Little lady said tangibles, return the favor back. The cool man hit it right on the head. The cool man said, I want you to tell me what you need. Okay, so the very first thing that you expect from me if I need you is to learn what it is that I need from you, meaning that you need some communication from me, right? I have to come knock on your door and be like, Hey, the cool man, bruh, look, I'm a little short this week, man. You know what I'm saying? And I gotta catch the bus to work. Can you let me hold 10? Right? You want me to come and tell you what it is that I need from you. Is that not correct, fam? Right? You need to know what my expectations are, what it is I actually need from you. Right? Damn, August, you know what I'm saying? I got to get to the store. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna need some help with these groceries. If I take you with me, can you help me carry these groceries in the house? Right? The very first thing you expect someone to communicate to you that needs something from you is what it is that they need from you. Right? Pretty Muslim asked, am I politically engaged? Of course I am. Absolutely. And if you like, I can elaborate on it, you know what I'm saying, the whole 9 yards. But the very first thing, fam, this is basic, right? I need us to all be on the same sheet of music on this real basic point. If I need something from you, the very first thing that you need to have from me is to know what it is that I need from you. Okay? All right. Exactly, August. I'm no mind reader. Okay? Now, with that said, I do support 100% the idea of voting for anyone, D or R, that comes to you, the people, right? Wherever you are, wherever your locale, right? Wherever your state is, if they come to you and say, I need your vote, and this is why I need your vote, and y'all have a dialogue, and then you engage with them on a down ballot vote, Brother Black is right there with you. 100%. Because that's somebody that you've had some communication with. They made you aware, first of all, that they need you. Second of all, they told you why they need you. And third of all, if they're going to elicit your support at this point as ADOS, right, they're going to have to bring something to you. Because again, as we've been saying, politics is an exchange, not a gift. However, how many of you have had the experience of going and looking down ballot and not even knowing who the names of the individuals are that are running for these local offices? There's no shame in that, by the way. There's no shame in that. How many of you, pop a one in the chat, if you get your ballot and you look down ballot and you're like, who the hell is these people? Like, I don't know them. I've never even seen this name right here. Tell the truth and shame the devil. How many of you down ballot even know what these powers of some of these offices actually are? Again, fam, this is no shade. This is no shade, right? I'm politically savvy, and there are offices that are being ran for political offices down ballot that I simply don't understand what the office is. Like, I don't know what this person is supposed to be doing or whatever the case may be. Now, again, Pretty Muslim is right. If we haven't done our due diligence, boom, right? We are going to end up holding that L. But that in and of itself says something. It says two things. One, that just the amount, okay, so let me phrase this the way I want to say this. We need to expect that the amount of research that we put in, right, the amount of time that we spend studying about these different offices, these different candidates, and so on and so forth, that effort is reciprocated by those said candidates reaching out to us. In other words, we have to do our legwork, as Pretty Muslim said, right? We have to do our due diligence. At the same token, it is not untoward to ask these candidates or to demand from these candidates that they come and speak to us. Now, here's the thing. You do your legwork, right? Like Pretty Muslim said. You do your legwork. You understand the office. What's the power of the office? How long the term of office is for, and the whole 9 yards, right? You've done your due diligence. If that candidate, or if any candidate for that office hasn't come to you to speak to you, right? Whether they've come into your community and held a little town hall meeting or something like that, right? If they haven't knocked on your door, if they haven't came and spoken to you directly, can we legitimately say that regardless of whatever they say their stated aims, goals, positions are, whatever, that they actually need us? Right? The last time I checked, if someone needs me, they're going to come and tell me they need me. They're going to come here. Pretty Muslim said, I always miss them, right? But here's the thing. Those individuals need to be coming to you, right? It's our responsibility to do our due diligence. But at the end of the day, if these individuals don't come to us and tell us that they need us, tell us why they need us, and tell us what they're willing to offer us for our support, then what the hell? Then we don't need them, right? Ergo, we don't have to vote for them, right? If that candidate, whether they have a D or an R after their name, if they haven't came and talked to the community, they haven't came and talked to you, they haven't had a sit down, they haven't explained to you what it is that their goals and aims are, and more importantly, asked you what your goals and aims are in return for giving them political power, then can we truly say, can we truly argue that they need us? If they felt like they needed us, they would come to us. So if they did not come to us, it only stands to reason that they don't need us. And thus, I don't need to vote for them. This is not, again, to say that Yvette was wrong. There are candidates who should be talking to us, who we could throw our support behind. Unfortunately, what we have seen is that even on the local level, everybody politically has gotten used to disrespecting ADOS, so that they don't feel like they have to come and talk to us, that they just feel like that they have to maybe be a bearer of melanin and show up on the ballot. And magically, if they have the right letter after their name, our votes are just supposed to pour in like water. But it's a new day, fam. It's a new day. Our ballots are for sale, and you need to tell us what it is that you're providing for us. Muslims said they need us. Again, sister, I'm not disputing that. What I'm disputing is that do they believe they need us? Because people who need people act differently. Muslim, you chided me, and us, I should say, if we didn't do our due diligence to understand the offices down ballot and what we voted for. So we have work that we have to do, and we can't be negligent. No excuses, right? But they can be negligent, and we still are supposed to support them. All I'm saying is be consistent, right? If there's no excuses for us, if there's no excuse for us not understanding what the positions are, what the powers of the office are, who's running for those, and so on and so forth, right? If there's no excuses for us understanding that, and I would agree with you, we should be doing our due diligence, then there's no excuse for their negligence in coming and letting us know that they need us. Because I'm telling you, if they don't come to you and tell you, then they can't truly say that they need you. I'm not a mind reader. I can't guess that you need my vote. And even if I was to guess properly, right? So, Muslim, let's say that I was to say, you know what, that candidate right there could use my support. Okay, right? I've done my due diligence. I've seen their platform, so on and so forth. And I'm thinking, yeah, they can use my support, right? But they haven't really offered me anything. They haven't really came to me in mind and said any damn thing. Then why then should I support them? See, that's the question that ultimately has to be addressed. That is the elephant in the room. Why show up for folk who don't show up for us? It's as simple as that. Like a protest vote, I get it, right? But protest vote for who? According to many ADOS, we can't protest vote for like a Republican because the Republicans are so horrible, it's so bad, it's so racist, it's so this, that, and the third, right? So like we can't support the Republicans. How are we supposed to protest vote down ballot? Right? Like, I'm just Just keep it in a buck. How are we supposed to protest vote? You could write in, I guess, at least on the ballots that have that capacity, because some ballots don't even have the capacity for you to write in for a certain office. They just put the names and you got to check one or don't check one, right? So, okay, write in, great. I get it. Write in what, ADOS? Write in what? Okay, cool. Even still though, explain to me how that is actually being in any way any different than somebody who just refuses to go to the ballot box and vote for any of them at all. You just went to the ballot box, right? And you voted for nobody, right? You voted for none of the above. Well, if I don't show up at the ballot box, I am definitely saying that I would not vote for any of the above. How are you any different? Simply because you showed up at the ballot box, right? So just something to think about, fam. Why do they need us? And if they need us so badly, why aren't they coming to us? Right? If somebody needs me to buy a vacuum, I'm gonna get a knock on the door from a Kirby salesman, right? If somebody needs me to do something for them, they're going to come and tell me, at the very least, why they need me. But even down ballot, even in your local offices, you have been consistently shown disrespect where they won't come to you. And I'm not talking about the Republicans. We already know that the Republicans have just kind of threw up their hands and said, damn the black vote, they're not coming, right? But the Democrats themselves won't come to you, even on a local level. But we're still supposed to support them down ballot? Make that make sense to me, right? So there's my point of view on the idea that we need to vote because there's somebody on the ballot that might need us, right? If they need me, they know how to come and talk to me. If they don't come and talk to me, it only stands to reason that they obviously don't need me as much as we might think. It is what it is. It is what it is. So the second part that Yvette mentioned, right, was that, you know what, let me go back a bit because y'all making some really good comments. Here's the thing to note. I am of the mind that showing up, I don't believe is going to be enough. Now, that's my opinion, right? That's my opinion because we've been showing up and they still won't talk to us, right? So I'm trying to figure out how doing the same thing but expecting a different result is supposed to work on our behalf. I'm admitting openly, this is my opinion. I'm not saying that we should be bound, we as ADOS should be bound by my opinion. But in my opinion, we've already showed up and voted consistently, whether full ballot, down ballot, whole 9 yards. They have not made any indication whatsoever that our showing up is making any bit of difference in their movement, right? I'm not so much concerned about us voting or not voting. Believe it or not, fam. Believe it or not, right? Like if you guys go and decide that you want to vote down ballot for Democrats, I'm okay with that. I'm not personally like on board with that, but I can understand the logic and why you're doing it, right? I'm not actually that concerned about you going to vote. Not at all. What I'm concerned about is what are you getting for your efforts? That's the only thing I actually care about. And to be quite honest with you, fam, we have been dedicated, we have been loyal, and we have gotten shit to show for it. Which brings me to my second point. Yvette discussed our loyalty to the Democrats, right? Our loyalty to them. We've actually, black folk have been loyal to the Democrats, I think seriously to our detriment. Like we've been so loyal to them that we've espoused values, we've espoused behaviors, we've espoused a lot of shit that we really truly as a people ain't really comfortable with. But we figure that because the Dems is on it, that we should be on it because we support them. Like that's terror bad. That we have been so loyal to this political party that we've been loyal to them in spite of things that we actually hold as valuable, right? That we've just simply sloughed off because it would somehow or another offend or upset the Democrats. Like, I'm blown away to be quite honest. Let me explain something to you, fam. There's an idea that I need to make you aware of if you're not aware of already, right? It's a flaw in thinking, right? Fallacies are flaws in logic, flaws in thinking. There's a particular type of fallacy that I want to introduce to you today. By the way, links to the documentation that I'm going to discuss is in the comments below. Click the links, read the information, right? As always, get grounded in the data. The particular fallacy that I want to discuss today is called the sunk cost fallacy. Now, that seems strange, like sunk cost. What is he talking about? Trust me, fam, every last one of you know what it is that I'm talking about. Sunk cost fallacy is the fallacy that is committed when you continue to invest, put in resources, time, effort, energy into something, even if it is a losing proposition, simply because you are mentally tabulating what you already put in and are unwilling to lose what you put in. That's as simple as that. That is what the sunk cost fallacy is. I'll give you an example. How many of you know somebody who's been in a really bad relationship, right? They may cheat on them, abuse them, use them up, so on and so forth. And they've been in this relationship for years, right? We talking 5, 10, 15 years, right? They've been getting ran through the fucking ring. For us exes, we know quite a few folk that's like that because we all up in our 40s. We know folk that have been in long-ass term relationships where from the beginning the relationship wasn't no good. It might have been a few, maybe a month to a year where things were straight. And ever since then, it's been hell for that person that you care for. Now, multiple times throughout the years that your beloved person, the person you care for, has been in this bogus ass relationship, you've mentioned both low key, right? And straight up openly. Why are you still with this fool? He's hurting you or she's using you, right? So on and so forth. Okay. And this person tells you after a while, but I've been with them for so long. We've been together for 7 years. We got 2 children together. You know, I know she don't do me right, but I can't lose what I got. You know, I know he hits me sometimes and you know, he breaks my stuff and he's mean to me and all of that, right? But we got our car together. We got a house together. How am I supposed to walk away from all of that? So this person keeps investing more time, more money, more resources, more care, more concern into a relationship that isn't fucking working out for them. Now, you as an outsider, you say to yourself, are they nuts? Like, what the hell? Can't they see what's happening to them? If that was me, I would never put up with that shit. Right? But because of the mental accounting that they're doing for what they've put in, they're adverse to losing what they've put in. And so they continue to sink further further investments of time, of resources, of care and concern. That is the living epitome of the sunk cost fallacy. The mental accounting behind the sunk cost fallacy is that if I stop here, then I wasted everything I put in previously. So you don't want to appear wasteful. You don't want to appear like you're holding the air. So you keep backing a horse what can't run. You keep backing a relationship that don't work out. Fam, the sunk cost fallacy, in my opinion, explains 100% why we keep having this back and forth about the goddamn Democrats. And I'm just keeping it a buck. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I don't give a shit about either one of them. What I care is about what can they do for me and mine, for me and my tribe. That's it. I'm not married to either one of them. So for me, I'm not continuing to throw good money after bad money. Fam, Christine stole my thunder, but I could not have said it no better myself. At some point, fam, we are going to have to go ahead and take the L. We're going to have to go ahead and accept the fact that we've wasted 50, 60 motherfucking years with the Democrats. It ain't done shit for us. It hasn't done a damn thing for us. There was one time when the Democrats was nice to us, when LBJ said, let's give them civil rights and the voting rights. And so we've been loyal to the Democrats, staying, voting for them. When they start supporting feminism and women's rights, we were like, wait a minute, okay, like we don't mistreat our women like that. Like our women been working and